I need you all to explain Kabi Lame to me. All right, I've been reading about him. I know he's the biggest TikToker on the platform right now. I know he's quite popular among the younger, among you all. All right, and I get it, but I still kind of don't get it. Explain this guy to me. Explain why he's so popular. Malia has her hand up.
Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. So
Good
basically,
morning.
this guy, he basically like when people doing the most, when he could simply do the simplest thing, like what the guy did, he cut his jersey for no reason when he could have simply open the door and let go his jersey. You know, he just did the most. He just did the most and cutting his jersey because things are expensive. That jersey probably costs about $25. Time's hard.
I get it. I get it, you know. I get it. I watch probably too many of his videos, all right, and trying to understand, and I get it, but I still don't get it. I still don't get it. Thanks. Yes.
He just also made this kind of face expression to make people like, you for real? Like what?
That is I think that's the part of it I understand the most. That is the part of it I understand the most. Thank you for your perspective, Malia. Let me hear from oh my gosh, Alexi Ramnarine. Alexi, let me hear from you.
Good morning, sir.
Good
So
morning.
basically, probably he's a social media influencer, especially on TikTok, and he stitches videos or duets them, showing that whatever that person is doing, maybe kind of not smart. So he's showing the common sense way of doing it, of doing stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably.
Thank you, Alexi. I'm glad you brought up the stitching or the duet aspect of his channel, because it's something that I found interesting about TikTok. In watching some of his videos, I get the feeling that some people are putting intentionally, poor solutions to problems just so that he will stitch them or duet them, just to give them some exposure, which is something I find real interesting about TikTok as a platform. The way that people collaborate, the way that people are, know that he's looking out for really dumb solutions to simple problems. All right, and will put stuff out there just to get some attention from him. All right, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. I see one last person has their hand up. No, that's still Malia. Right. All right. Somebody send something in chat. He just points out the obvious. Thank you, Kimura. I feel like Kimura is actually hitting me one a facial expression like what he's hitting you all right now. All right, cool. Let's begin now. If you're ready, I'm going to stop sharing this. All right, just give me 1 second to pull something up.
For my social media project, I decided to embark on a project that I wanted to start for a long while called Trinidad Illustrated. I wanted to incorporate architecture and culture into my project by creating illustrations, digital illustrations, using the knowledge that I gained from my graphic design degree. A few of the pictures I did take myself, but for the others I sourced the images. So I sourced the pictures that I wanted to use, and I used the images and I did the illustrations over the images. So I would use there's a tool in Illustrator called the pen tool, and that's basically the entire tool that I use for the buildings. So each individual color is a shape, and them coming together is what would create the art itself. In graphic design, you would use images and manipulate the images. But with this one, I used the images and I didn't manipulate the image, but I kind of created another form of art from the actual image itself. So I would say it was different from what I would do in my regular graphic design classes. My first favorite piece would probably be the QRC piece, because not only was that the one that challenged me the most in terms of putting the extra time in, because of all the detail that there was in the piece, but the response to it was what really made me appreciate it. A lot of people loved the piece, and it was kind of the piece that propelled me and encouraged more people to actually pay attention to what I was doing. The response for the piece was a lot more than I expected, because I mean, I expected people to like what I was doing, but the aim of it was really for me to challenge myself. So when I saw the responses, I was just so amazed, because I really didn't expect it. And a lot of companies and clients saw the stuff that I was doing, and well, I gained a lot of friendships and clients from it, because people were seeing the talent and they wanted me to collaborate with them on different projects, to do it for them, not necessarily in terms of illustrating, but graphic design on the whole. People were asking me to do t-shirt designs for them. And the Guardian interview, that was something that I didn't expect to happen, because it was basically a chain of events. So it started with the social media project, then it went to the magazine, the school magazine, and then it went to the Guardian. As I got into the class and as I got into the content, I realized how important it is for you to use social media to promote whatever it is. It doesn't have to be business related, but it's a powerful tool. And I would encourage people to not take the class lightly, because as we see, it doesn't just stop in the class, it goes beyond that. And you never know who would see, you never know where it would take you, because with social media, it's an open platform and people are being discovered on social media every day. So don't take it lightly, and pick something that you are passionate about, because if you don't pick something that you're passionate about, you would probably be miserable for the entire semester, and you would be discouraged to post, you just wouldn't know what to do. But if you pick something that you're passionate about, you'll always be inspired, you'll always be looking for new ideas, and it would be more enjoyable.
Great. So let's move forward now. Right. So good morning, everyone. My name is Kayode James, Mr. James. All right. Welcome to our workshop this morning. We're jumping straight in. All right. I'm not even telling the name of the workshop just yet. We're gonna lead up to it. We're gonna get up to it. We're talking to you here from our North Learning Center campus in St. Clair, Woodbrook. All right. From COSTAATT. All right. And at COSTAATT, we're in the business of transformation. So it's very important for me to let you all know that, all right, we have transformed from the Ken Gordon School of Journalism and Communication Studies into what you see now, the Ken Gordon School of Communication, Creative and Digital Media. All right, we transformed into that as of this year. All right, so you all would have heard some of what we offer. All right, some of what we focus on from Ms. Jack a little bit earlier on. All right, but I'll go over it. We are a school of media primarily. We focus on media primarily, the study of media, the production of media. All right, we own media professionals here, regardless of what area, all right, specific area they are intending to embark upon. All right, we offer degrees, certificates, diploma, and general training in mass communication, all right, which includes fields like graphic design. And you just saw one of our very successful graphic design graduates there, Judah Krishlo, talking about one of her projects that she did with us. Filmmaking, film production, film editing, all right, script writing, stuff like that. Any of you all want to become the next James Cameron, all right, Steven Spielberg, Ryan Coogler, right? Head by us. Of course, we offer training in advertising and public relations, promotions, corporate communication, that aspect of professional communication, right? And of course, journalism, right? Journalism is one of the foundational fields of study, right? It's how we established ourselves, and I know a lot of people are still interested in becoming journalists, right? I know many of you all who are here right now have a special interest in writing in general, right? And journalism is a foundation for some of the greatest novelists, right, that we've ever produced. So again, keep us in mind. You'll learn a little bit more about what we do as I speak today. right? But as I look at this image of our campus, right, I imagine, right, like right now, that there are students downstairs filming or editing or planning some sort of short film, some sort of documentary or music video, right? And there are students upstairs in one of our classrooms there drafting, right, or discussing media policy, studying audiences to find out what they want, what they need, all right, thinking about media technology and some of those really big topics that we discuss and examine, all right, in our classes. Really, again, I want to emphasize we are a school of media, and that means that inevitably we're going to be discussing or talking about social media with all those big concepts and those big topics in mind. Let's talk about a Twitter feed that asks a very important question. Let's talk about a Twitter feed that asks a very important question. Can you pet the dog? It's one of the first social media products or social media places that came to mind when I was told that, you know, I should talk to you all about social media creativity. All right. Can you pet the dog is a Twitter feed that really sprung out of a viral question that people who play games always ask. If there's a dog in your game, can you pet it? If there's a cat or some kind of domesticated animal, even something like a dragon in your game, why can't we pet it? All right? Why can't we play with it? It's a ironic, kind of wholesome, kicksy thing, right? But the person behind this Twitter feed, well, made it into a daily kind of posting routine, right? They would just play different games or get footage from different games and inform everyone that, yeah, in this new game that's coming out, you could pet the dog, right? Or this new game that's coming out, you can't, right? And they would just put that up and people would respond to it. You know, people will be happy about the ability to pet dogs in games, right? That would increase interest in some games. People would talk more about it, right? It's a kicksy thing that you just see on your phone, you respond to, right? But the accounts are to get a lot bigger though. It's hard to go places, right? Game producers, game studios, and publishers started taking it a lot more seriously. And pretty soon, they started to send the person behind the account copies of their games just so that the person could play them, find out if they could pet the dogs, and then give the game exposure on this account. Right? Suddenly it stopped being just a novelty and a viral kicks thing. And it started to become a strange kind of new standard for games being released. All right, huge publishers, huge producers, the newest game from Nintendo, the newest Call of Duty, all right, the newest update for Fortnite or something like that, right, would feel this need to let the world know via Twitter primarily, but also via TikTok where this person has an account. Right? Let the world know that yes, you can pet the dog, you can pet the animals in our game. Right? And as I said, it goes places, but we'll get back to it. I thought also about Eater Food, right? An account that started on Facebook, right? Let's say a creative venture that started on Facebook, but eventually spread in a big way to YouTube, all right? And really started off less as a cooking channel or a food channel, because we have a lot of those, and more of a place where its founder, all right, its owner could share some controversial takes, right? Some controversial takes.
Ketchup on pizza, ketchup on Chinese food, ketchup on pilau. Stop it. And I'm going to carry it a little bit further. Barbecue sauce on barbecue meat. The meat already cooked in barbecue sauce. It's like taking brown sugar and sprinkling it on top of stew chicken for extra flavor. We're really doing flame on.
Right? But are we? We're always intended to just rile people up, all right? To engage in rabs, as he says, all right? But this kind of content, these kind of videos were really a Trojan horse for what he really wanted to do, all right? which was talk about food as part of our culture and very specific aspects of our culture, not necessarily fancy restaurants, all right, but people in Paramin, growing seasoning, all right, small pizza parlors, all right, people in Toko making food, all right, people in South making different sorts of snacks and whatnot, all right. That was a big part of what he wanted to do. He wanted to put a spotlight on the uh, less glamorous, all right, more grassroots places that produce like the food that's essential to our culture. All right. Again, it goes places, but that's just me. All right. Now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you all. A word that describes social media, right? I'm going to take a pause and I want to hear from you all a word that describes social media. You can type it in the chat, all right? Or you could raise your hand and share a word with me. Wow, Alexi is on the assignment. Malia, not surprisingly, right behind. Alexi, let me hear. Give me that one word that you think describes social media.
Hi again. So, my one word that describes social media would be engaging.
Engaging. All right, cool. Explain.
Engaging in the sense of that it attracts audiences, like whether it be different topics, the different audiences would be attracted to whatever is being posted online. Say like BTS fans, they're like fan pages for BTS, they would engage and have conversations and give different opinions on what they think about, that K-pop group.
Okay, good. All right, thank you very much, Alexi. All right, those of you who are not going to be speaking, feel free to type in the chat. I have eye on the chat here, so I'll acknowledge whatever you type as well.
So I
Oh,
was saying,
somebody is talking. Oh, that's Malia. Okay, talk, Malia.
so I was saying social media is an entertainment place because why my reason told that is because when you go on social media, basically, it depends on what type of videos you like. They were constantly repeating like videos like that you like let me say like Chris Brown. They're constantly bringing up things about Chris Brown. Because it really depends on what type of videos you like. When you come on the social media, it is bring back everything. But there's different type of topics upon Chris Brown, basically. I would say it's an entertainment place. It have funny videos. It have videos. You don't even know that you're supposed to know. It is teach you some things too, and it is give false information also. And it does not know things that you didn't know before.
Malia, taking us on that journey, right? Asking for one word, but you're going hard. All right. Well, Malia, I'm going to stick with your first word, which is entertaining. All right. So far we have engaging, then we have entertaining. All right. With some footnotes from Malia. All right. Let me hear from somebody's influential. Sarah is saying that social media is influential. Sahara is saying that it's collaborative. I like that one. Collaborative. That's an often overlooked one. In fact, what we spoke about with regards to Kabilame, and people putting up intentionally incompetent videos for him to make fun of them. All right, there's a very kind of collaborative process there on TikTok. All right, oh gosh, Camila is getting straight down to it. When I was discussing this presentation with a colleague of mine, and I said I'm going to ask them that question, my colleague immediately said toxic, and we laughed. And I never thought that one of you all would actually say it as well. But yeah, toxic is a word that we can use to describe social media. Right, Antonia, let me hear you.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Hi,
The
Antonia.
word that I was thinking to describe social media would be addictive, mainly because it's something that's hard to come off of. Because like it's a big cause of procrastination. Like let's say you have, I don't know, 3 assignments to do, but you're scrolling on TikTok. That is a big part of it.
Antonia, as someone who has spent the past week putting together this presentation for you all, yes, and it's based completely on social media. Yes, social media can cause procrastination in a big way. All right, is taking the very, very high road right, by saying that social media is about communication. Yes, it is. And similarly, Emma, global. Emma says that it's global. All right. Yeah, global, ubiquitous. Ubiquitous, ever present. All right. Yep. Social media is all of those things, all encompassing. Status quo by this point. I often have to think of a theme or a word that encapsulates the topics that I focus on in my class. Sometimes I choose one just for the semester, right? To act as a kind of guidepost, right, for students to think about the different topics that we'll be talking about. And one that I use for social media very often, right, is empower. Right? Social media is empowering. At least that's the angle. That's the angle that we focus on in my classes and in the Kayode school in general. Social media is an empowering force. It's a toolkit, right? It's a ladder, it's a weapon, it's something that can, again, right, empower you to produce, right, to be your best self, right, to go places, as we've been talking about. Speaking of which, this is how we talk about social media as media studies people, as mass communication educators and students. Right? We focus on the fact that social media destroys the old media status quo, right? The old way that traditional media used to work, right? The way that TV and newspapers work in that you buy a newspaper, you consume it. You sit down in front of the TV, you watch it. All right, you sit down in front of the radio, you turn it on, you listen to it. It's a mostly one-way relationship, right? Social media is different in that you don't just consume what you see or hear or play. You also contribute to it. You participate in it. You create, all right? You produce. You put something up there, all right? You are empowered to not just consume, but to produce and to be part of that creative process. It's interactive. It's collaborative, as someone said, all right? And then that way, that's the part of the reason why it is now status quo, all right? That's a part of the reason why it's so ever present in our lives right now. It's a completely new way of interacting with media, right? Let's talk about how that empowering factor, right, impacts on some of the people we've spoken about so far. This is the young lady who was in that first video that we looked at, that we started off with. She's a critical. I just googled her to see what she's doing these days, where she's. Well, I'll be honest. I googled to find out who she's working for, who she's working with. All right, who would have hired her after the great work that she did, while she was with us? And no, Judah says no. Judah works for herself. Judah's a creative director of her own design firm now. She employs people. All right. And I think the best part of it is that this story, this image, comes from a story in the Jamaica Gleaner. All right. So she's regional now. Right. She's doing work regionally now. Right? Social media has empowered her to be an entrepreneur, to be financially independent, right? To be her own creator. I said that Twitter feed went places. It's obviously a Twitter feed run by someone who loves animals. And eventually, after becoming a kind of standard, a new standard for game developers and game releases, they became involved in animal advocacy. Right? What started off as a kick thing, as a whole something, right? Ended up becoming a venue or a platform that could be used to raise money for animal charities, right? Inform people, right, about good pet care, that sort of stuff, all while catching kicks and entertaining them with the concept of petting animals in video games. And what about Mr. Badawi, the Rabs man? Well,
good morning, Ika people. I'm cooking on the hills in Maruga, seeing the view of the south coast and the east coast same time, and the west coast.
all right. Yep. Budawi went from trying to troll people about how much pepper they should eat and which doubles is good and not good, all right, to representing for people all over the country whose cuisine and culture he feels needs to be highlighted, right? Again, all of these people went places. They started off on, with one spot, and they went places eventually. They were empowered to do so. And that's what today's presentation is about. That's what today's workshop is about. We want to put that power in your hands, or at the very least, right? We want you all to start on that journey, to start thinking about it in a serious way. Right? We wanted to help you equip yourself, right, with that kind of creative foundation to empower yourself with social media. Right? Today's session is called Idea Generation for Content Creation. Again, I'm Mr. James, coming to you from the Ken Gordon School of Communication, Creative and Digital Media, and we're glad you're here with us. Let's begin. I've shared a few of my favorite content creators with you all. Right? I want you all to share a few of your favorite content creators with us. See, thank you very much, Mulia. Wait until I call you this time. And even if you're gonna say it, say it loud, say it out loud, I want you to type it in chat. All right? Just type the name of your content creator in the chat.
I would say certified Samson.
Certified?
Samson.
Certified Samson. All right. What does Certified Samson create? What does he do?
Funny contact.
What did he do? Right.
And he does also, I would say, promotes Popeyes and other stuffs and his own lollies too.
Right. He promotes Popeyes, you said?
Yes.
The chicken place?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Good. Certified Samson. All right. Promoter, comedian. Alexi, let me hear you.
My favorite content creator is SS Sniper Wolf.
Okay, SS Sniper Wolf. Sounds like a gamer. Tell me what they're about, Alexi.
SS Sniper Wolf is a content creator on YouTube, and she basically reacts to TikTok videos. Like, she collects a heap of videos under one topic and reacts to them in one video. I like her because I don't have to go on TikTok and endlessly scroll finding entertaining videos. I could just watch it all in one place at a certain amount of time and do what I have to.
All right. Okay, good. Here's what we'll do. Right? There's one other person. Actually, let me see. I'm seeing a few hands raised. Here's what we'll do. Antonio, tell me, who your content creator is.
Hi, sir. My favorite content creator would be Corey Extension. He's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
Sometimes he does something.
Tell me what he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes he does something called Spooky Scary Sundays, where he reacts to scary videos and stuff. Most of the time he plays games though, and I find it really entertaining to watch him play for some reason.
So we back from the break, and some of you all have actually said not just who your favorites are, but what you like about them. All right, and that ties straight into our next question. Right, the big question, right? The one that we seek to answer and start building on whenever we teach and focus on social media at Ken Gordon. What's the value proposition? All right, what's the hook? Why do you keep coming back? What exactly about this content makes it worth sharing? And by the way, when I use the word sharing there, I mean both sharing to seeing someone's stuff and sharing it, all right, with your friends, with your colleagues, with the world, but also if you are a content creator, all right, what do you sort of think about that makes your work? What is it about you or your work that makes it worth sharing with an audience? Right? Beyond just that mark of quality, right? What exactly makes it worth sharing? Wow, hands up already. Boy. Larina, as the first person who logged in this morning, long before anyone else. All right, long before anyone else was here. Let me hear from you now.
Hi, sir.
Hi,
So
Larina.
I think what when it's worth sharing, it depends on like what the message is basically like if it's for entertainment or if it's educational in its purpose. And as for the entertainment aspect, like I love Jay and he's a YouTuber, he's a gamer, and his videos are very entertaining because he plays horror games and reacts to other videos. And he's a very likable person and has like a really nice personality. And he's very charming in his videos and stuff. And so when you like a certain someone, you'd want to share that person with someone else because you want other people to, see what you like as well. So I think that's a big part of it.
All right, so right. There's somebody used the word relatable, right? And that sounds like something that you are touching on to relatability. Right? They say that the guy is or the creator is charming. All right. Good. All right. Very good. Who else has their hand up? Thank you very much, by the way, Lorena. Camila, let's hear from you now. Camila, Camila, are you a student?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm seeing the MNSS now. Yes, let me hear from you, Camila.
So I will say it be life changing, like it be aspiring and entertaining. Depends on the message that the content
Right.
creator sharing. Like
You
for instance, it could be like a content that's relatable to life, like helping a homeless person or like not bullying another student, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Camila, again, I'm glad you reminded us. All right. Camila said the word inspired, and it's very easy to forget. All right. But yes, social media is very toxic. Yes, social media can be very, it feels primarily like some kind of a kicks place, right? But social media at the end of the day is about people connecting to each other, right? And that whole idea of content being inspiring, right? Content making you feel better when you're down, content giving you a reason to achieve more, or just get out of bed in the morning sometimes, depending. Right? Yeah, that's a big part of what can make content worth sharing, can make content resonate with us. Who else is Zahara? Hi, Zahara.
I would say relatability would make content with sharing. Like, so my favorite content creator, the odd ones out, he describes his childhood and embarrassing moments that would make viewers feel like, okay, he went through the same experience as I did, and I feel much better about it, and sort of empowerment to the viewers of his channel as well.
Did you say relatability?
Yes.
Okay, okay. It sounded like invisibility, but relatability. Yep. We stick to, or we look at creators who we can relate to in some way, right? Something about who they are, what they're doing corresponds to something that we are doing or that we are going through, right? And looking at them go through their journey can be, as someone said, inspiring, can be therapeutic, right? And let's talk to Alexi now. Alexi, talk to us.
I think a big part of what makes content worth sharing is positivity, like how it inspires someone or the knowledge you can gain from it.
All right. Positivity. All right. Okay. All right. Good. Right. So I think we covered most of the bases there, right, in terms of what can make content worth sharing. I try to look for like some major factors, 2 or 3 major factors, some questions you can ask yourself before you start to actually produce. Because at this point, we are talking about, we are looking at the successful, right, producers of content, or just the ones that we like. They don't have to be successful or huge, but just the ones that we like, the ones that keep us coming back, right? Looking at them and looking at what makes their work, so compelling, and asking ourselves, well, what exactly are the elements that make it work? Right? What are the elements that make it work? And I have a few suggestions. I have a few points of what those factors are. The first one really is uniqueness. The first one really is uniqueness. Creating what few others can, right, or what few others are doing, right, or doing it in a way that few others can, standing out or standing apart from the rest of the crowd in some way, right, speaking from some perspective that other people can't speak from, right. This is something that will definitely get people's attention immediately. It will definitely build a very specific audience who will be loyal to you, who won't be able to find what you produce anywhere else. One of the first content creators that I took a look at when I started to study social media was a guy called Zach Anna. Should be on your screen now. Right. He's a quadriplegic guy. All right, he's a quadriplegic content creator. He had quite a big following. All right, and especially in the earlier days of YouTube, had quite a few hit viral videos because he was doing something that I think the average person clicking on his video wouldn't expect.
Hi, I'm Zach Anner, and welcome to Workout Wednesdays, the workout show where I teach you how to have a kicking butt like mine.
Right?
Hi.
So he's in a wheelchair. He can't walk, right? He can't really, hold stuff properly. And he posts a bunch of videos where he's doing a bunch of physical activity. The guy is a comedian, obviously, right? He's laughing at his situation. He's laughing at himself, right? But he's not just simply inspiring. Look, I'm in a wheelchair, right? I'm doing this, so can you. He's not simply inspiring people. He's also making them laugh, all right? And of course, he will obviously make you think about your own situation and how it relates to his, look at what he's accomplishing, etc. So there is that, of course, inspirational, motivational aspect to his work, right? It makes his work stand apart, right? It makes his work stand apart. And his work, stuck out to me, especially after I looked at his brother's channel, right? His brother, who, they strongly, suggest during the rest of his videos, is the person who actually writes most of his comedy, right? This person who actually produces most of his videos, etc. His brother also has a channel, and his brother did not have anywhere as, the number of subscribers that he had, right? Anywhere the number of views that he had, nowhere as popular, right? Even though it was a similar type of comedy, a similar type of selfie face and kind of make fun of myself and my own incompetence kind of comedy, all right? Zach is speaking from a very unique perspective, right? Most of us don't deal with a disability, or at least not a severe disability like he is, right? And then a lot of people who have disabilities don't, approach their situation, right, or what they live with the kind of attitude that he does. So on multiple fronts, he is delivering a very unique perspective and a very unique type of content, something that you can't get anywhere else, all right? And he gained a lot of success for it. Right? Let me see, I'm talking about somebody else who quite recently, all right, yep, provided somewhat unique content, all right? This is a student, a very recent, actually, past student of ours, right, who, well, let's introduce what she did.
Everyone, I'm Zoe, and this is just a quick video to welcome you to the official TikTok page for A Time to Mourn. Now, for those of you who don't know, A Time to Mourn is a project that I'm doing for my social media class, in which I will be exploring my journey with grief after losing my dad very suddenly in 2018. Full disclaimer, I am not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I am by no means an expert on grief. I am just a girl who lost her dad, and I'm still trying to work through it. Now, the main content for this project will be on my blog, the link to which you can find in my bio, but because it is such a personal project, I will be using TikTok as a way of interacting with you in a more personal way. So I'm going to be doing short videos on...
Right. So we need to go through the entire thing. All right. Yeah. Zoe, our student, decided to engage in both like therapy for herself and try to help other people who were going through a hard time, all right, who were mourning and who were, dealing with grief and whatnot. So in trying to heal herself, she hoped that she could help others heal as well. All right. Again, not something typical. There's a lot of inspirational and motivational content out there. Not much of it deals with something like this. All right, the loss of a loved one, exclusively that. All right. So again, a different perspective, a unique perspective, is something that will make you stand out and compel people. What else do? What other factors or what other factor can make your content share worthy? Well, very obviously, quality. Right? Even if you don't have something particularly new or unique to say or to share, right? If you are the best at what you do, right? Even if your message, which isn't new or innovative, right? Even if it's standard, right, or common, if you are the best at putting it out there, you will get attention, right? You will get an audience. People will be drawn to your work and remain loyal, right? The first example that comes to me is this guy, Marcus Brownlee, right? Who is not only the biggest tech YouTuber, right, on YouTube. He's often called the grandfather of tech YouTube, or the godfather of tech YouTube, because he was one of the first, right? I bring that up not because I bring it up specifically because, I should say, he's about 27 years old. He's been doing this since.
All right, so this is an iPhone 14 Plus, pretty big phone, but how big do you think the biggest iPhone in the world is? So I wasn't expecting this, but YouTuber Matthew Beam told me he was building the world's biggest iPhone a few days ago, and then he showed up with it. This thing is fully functional, 7 feet tall, and weighs close to 500 pounds. It has a power button here. There's also a volume button.
Right. He's about 27 years old. All right. He's the biggest tech YouTuber. All right. And he started this when he was like 14. He started this when he was like 14 years old. That's a screenshot of him reviewing his own past content. All right. Reviewing the videos that he made in his house or in his room. I think he's in a kitchen there or something like that. Reviewing phones and other technology and laptops and whatnot when he was basically your age. All right, he started this out when he was very young and got better at it, built an audience, and it was primarily because he was the best at what he was doing. All right, people look at the way he covers tech, all right, when they are creating their own channels. So like that's an example of excellence, right, at the phone, right? So we're moving forward now, and having seen examples of unique content, having seen examples of high quality content, we turn the spotlight on you all and ask you basically, right, what exactly do you intend to create? What exactly do you intend to create? All right, we didn't just come here to talk about great YouTubers and great social media creators. We came here to think about what you can create and what you will put out there. I know that some of you already are putting stuff out there, and if you are, feel free to share your channel or your page in the chat. All right, but for the rest of you all, right, I believe that we are now going to go on another short break, right, to give you a chance to start thinking about what you want to put out there, right, what you want to what you think you can create, or what sort of social media you are interested in creating, right? So we're going to come back in 5 minutes, all right? Timer is there. And we're gonna take the mic out of my hands for a while and put it in yours. All right, let's go again. Let's continue. I want you all to, I hope you have pulled out like your notepads, all right, or your text document, or because this is the part where you could start taking some notes, right? The first real exercise for the session is going to start shortly, right? And I have some questions that I want you all to ask yourselves, right? The first part of this really is about asking what you can share, all right? What about you, or what that you can do, all right, or what that you have access to, all right, is worth sharing with an audience. right? You're thinking up what you're, what's the best path to take to becoming a successful content creator, right? So I can make a few assumptions based on the fact that this is a Bocas Lit Fest, all right, a workshop that many, if not most of you all are avid readers, interested in some way in writing, right? Or at the very least in novels, all right, in books. So I know that we'll have a lot of creative energy in that regard. But that might not be what you want to put out there if you want to become a content creator, if you want to start your own channel, all right? If you want to start your own blog, it might be something else, all right? And part of what we do in my classes is, well, a big project like the one that Judah Krishlo and Zoe Lito did, right? Is starting your own social media content creation, all right? Starting your own project, becoming a creator, if not just for practice, but also for profit. And I want you all to do that today. I want you all to imagine yourselves as those of us who are not already doing it. I want you all to imagine yourselves as content creators, and I want you all to come up with the idea of what kind of content you all would create. Right? Who would you all be as a TikToker, as a YouTuber, as a Twitch streamer, as a blogger, right? As someone like that. We are breaking down the factors of share-worthy content that we spoke about earlier into three different units, into three different things questions we can ask ourselves, right? We're breaking up those factors down into identity, right, or the perspective. Who are you? Where are you speaking from? Access, right? What do you have access to, right? Where can you go, right? Or who can you speak to, right? That no one else, has access to. And of course, skill. What can you do? What are you capable of? All right. What are you great at, right? Or getting much better at, right? That few other people are capable of. These are the aspects of yourself, right? That you need to look at, to come up with an idea, to come up with ideas as to what kind of content you want to produce. And ask yourself, what is different or uncommon, or dare I say special about me, right? About who I am or the perspective I have on life, right? My approach to life, right? Parts of me, different, aspects of my personality. What do I have access to? Do I live somewhere that's very different? Okay? Can I easily see views or talk to people that the average person can't? And skills, what am I great at? Right? Am I good at something physical? Am I great at writing, music, making people laugh, right? Technology. Ask yourself that. I have a few examples here of these different factors in action. Starting with a recent TikTok from another COSTAATT grad, Ria Ramboli, right? Behind the scenes at her newsroom.
Do you want to know what we do during breaks? While the news is on a little advertisement? Let me show you what Ryan is doing.
Watching mukbang videos.
Chronic. And Jassy is a performer. What about my song?
Which one you wanted, sorry?
Neo Sexy Love.
Just so I had to check my TikTok. This is new really hot. My sexy love.
All right, we don't need to hear the whole song. All right. This is a good example of someone who has access. All right. What makes this little TikTok, this little video interesting, something that you might want to watch, is the fact that very few people have access to our newsroom, to our behind the scenes part of media that we watch very often. Right? We see these people every night on the news, right? We see that set from we see it on our screens at least. All right. And then TV, the news goes to advertisement, right? Very few people know what goes on behind the scenes, right? Behind when advertisement is going on, right? Ria and both of these gentlemen here have access that the average person doesn't have. So this is access in action. Similarly, this is a IRL streamer that I happened upon a while ago. In fact, right during COVID, right? I love traveling, right? And I always, dreamed of going to Japan. So one day I stumbled on this guy's Twitch feed where he just has a GoPro, right? A little small camera, a GoPro camera or something like that, strapped onto his shoulder or on his hat or something like that. And he just cycles around and walks around Japan. He's a Westerner living in Japan, by the way. All right. So immediately there's his identity and his perspective, right? He's not Japanese, right? Like us, he's someone from the West, right, who's living in a foreign land. So he has this outsider's perspective. He has this kind of tourist almost perspective. He's learning about it. He obviously loves the country and whatnot. So we can relate in that regard, right? But also he has the access because he's there, right? He's where most of us aren't, right? So that makes his videos, that makes his content compelling immediately to those of us who are also, avid travelers, who are also curious about, life in Asia, right? And that sort of stuff, right? So this identity and access and action for this Rob CD example, right? Skill, not so much. It did get me thinking a bit though. And this is how easy it is to apply this equation of identity, access, and skill to yourself. Here I am looking at someone just walking around a city, right? With a GoPro, a little camera on their shoulder, because I'd like to know what that experience is like. I'd like to know, I want to know, what that city looks like, what the average everyday, goings on and life in that city is like. A lot of people think the same thing about us. A lot of people all around the world think the same thing about the life that we live here, especially during Carnival, for example. Right? Especially during Carnival, for example. A lot of people want to be here and want to be part of it and can't be part of it. And I imagine the idea of someone who's performing as a Mukujambi during Carnival, and you always see them, right? They walk around during every event, right? They're just there, high up in the air, right? Not just entertaining us and intimidating us, but also looking at the festivities from a different perspective entirely. What if during Carnival a Mukujambi performer does the same thing that Rob CD does? Straps a little GoPro or a camera to their shoulder or to their head or somewhere on them, all right, and gives an audience, streams that perspective, right? Gives an audience a view of carnival activities, how Frederick Street looks, all right, or High Street, right? How the Savannah looks, right, or any other venue, sorry. How that looks from 10, 15 feet in the air. You're hearing the same music, but you're seeing this different perspective on the celebration, right? From the comfort of your own, your home or your phone or wherever. Right? This is access in action. Right? This is somebody who has access to an elevated view of these festivities, right? And obviously skill, right? The skill of being a Mukujambi, being able to actually be up there, walk around and see stuff from there. There's access and skill in action to produce compelling content. So you're gonna sit down and you're gonna think about yourself from the perspective, well, in terms of identity, access, and skill, right? And less important, right? For now, what's less important, but you might still think about it, is what are people interested in? All right. I am more interested in knowing what you all think you have that that you can share, that you want to share, right? But eventually you'll have to think about audiences. You'll have to think about if people wanted to consume, to see, to listen to what you have to share. Right. And generally speaking, right, or generally speaking, people are interested in new trends or technology. People are interested in new solutions or opportunities. You might be seeing a pattern developing here. New is important, right? People are interested in new ways of seeing the world. Now think about what you can offer and think about how and if it falls into any of these categories here. What about you is new, different, unique, dare I say special, right? What about you offers a a constructive, a viable, a interesting, a entertaining way of approaching the world or seeing the world, right? Or solving challenges or creating opportunities. Think about it now. We're gonna start working on it now, actually. We're gonna start working on it now. We are gonna try to find the content creator in us. Right? We're gonna try to find the content creator in all of us right now. All right, and don't worry, I'm not just going to tell you to go off there and start doing it. All right, I have a little tool that you can use to sort your thoughts out. All right, a little exercise you all can do. And this is where the writing implements, the notepad and the pen and whatnot come in very handy. Right, I want you all to do a little mind map for me. Not for me, no, for yourselves. Do a little mind map to organize your thoughts visually. All right. Just jot this down. You don't have to draw it exactly the way it's drawn here. Right? And if you want to do it digitally, you can always use Mindomo. Right? It's an app. It's also a website. You can use it if you want to. I recommend that you just sit down and write and draw it out. It's much more efficient. All right? Yeah. Think about what you have or what you can offer under the categories of access, skills, and identity. Right? And don't think too hard about it. Just brainstorm and write down everything that comes to mind. Right? Just brainstorm and write down everything that comes to mind under any of those different banners. In fact, I have one there called anything else, anything that doesn't fall under identity, skills, or access. Right? Do that mind map and see what pops up. See what comes to mind. I did one for this workshop. All right, I did one for this workshop to see, what sort of. I mean, I already produce stuff for my classes. I'm already, doing do videos and maintain a blog for my classes. So so in that regard, I already create content. But if I just had to do something that was, if I just had to do something on my own to put out there that wasn't related specifically to my students, what would I do? Right. So I started to list my own, right, what I can offer, right? Parts of myself. Nope. I've seen people writing in the chat. Not yet. Don't worry, we're gonna break off to do that just now. Right. Try to put stuff about myself. I'm in my 40s. Right. I'm half of a teacher couple. Right. Also married to a teacher. Right. What do I have access to? Well, I have access to a campus. Right. Classrooms. I can speak to other lecturers. Right. I live very close to a river. I wonder if I could do something interesting with that, boy. Right. Well, what am I good at? Well, as a former journalist, I'm good at writing. Right. So that's the first thing that came to mind. I could do something on a blog. EduTech, all right. Using platforms like Zoom, all right, using e-classrooms. So yeah, I'm decent with that. Right. I love to research and what. So all of these are just little parts of myself that came to mind. I didn't think too hard about it. I just watched the word identity, like who am I exactly, and I started jot down stuff. This is a simplified version, by the way, of what I actually wrote down. There was a lot of other stuff I wrote down in my actual mind map, but they don't need to know my business. All right, these are the most relevant ones. I even put anything else thing here. I just recently started to wear glasses, for example. It's been an experience. All right, could that be useful in some kind of content I want to create? Where does that fit in? Right. So I just jotted down everything that came to mind. I was just brainstorming. Right. After I did that, I started to refine that list of stuff. I started to cross stuff out. Right. Some of the stuff don't seem particularly interesting, or I don't think I want to actually do anything, right, based on the fact that I live near to a river. All right. I don't really want to I mean, being in my 40s and being old, All right. The traveling thing, that might do something with that eventually, but not right now. All right. But some other points, right, after I crossed out stuff that didn't seem viable or feasible, I should say, some stuff stood out. So I circled that. Right. Here I have it in red and in bold. Right. But I underlined some stuff, or I circled it. I highlighted some stuff, I should say. right? And I was left with a handful of different aspects of myself, of my skills, of my identity, all right? Stuff I have access to, right? And I started to think about how I could combine that to create interesting content, right? To come up with good ideas as to what I want to share on social media with you. And this is actually what I want you all to do right now. Right? I'm going to, hold on, I'll put this back up. Right, I'm going to put the original mind map back up for a second. Give you all a chance to look at the general format. Write it down quickly if you want to. All right, so we're back. All right, so we split up into groups. All right, each school formed a group and came up with a quick concept, all right, for the sort of content that their school or their student body could create. All right, if your school had to become a content creator, what road would it travel? What kind of content would your school create? What kind of content should your school create? So I imagine that you all sat down and spoke about, what was different, what was special, what was unique about your school, its location, some of its graduates, the community, where you're located, all right, what your school specializes in, right, what your school has been successful at, what your school, aspires to, all right, and you all, brainstorm and mind map all of those different attributes, right, to think about what exactly the school should, what sort of content your school should create, right? So I'm very interested now in seeing what you all came up with. I hope it wasn't anything too boring. As I told some of you all when I visited your breakout rooms, I don't want you all creating content to help students do homework, all right? I want you all to think outside the box. Hold a second now. I'm gonna start sharing again, just for a little bit, right? And assuming everybody's back inside. So last time we spoke, I shared with you all my mind map, all right? And the work that I did to, my attributes, the aspects of myself that I thought would contribute to some kind of interesting or different type of content creation, all right? And I ended up settling on a very specific, type of idea. In teaching media, I constantly have to explain concepts or illustrate concepts using like real world examples. I can't just talk about like mass communication theories and frameworks and the history and the state of the industry without bringing that sort of stuff to life using current examples, using actual people, media products, media producers, companies, news, trends. All right, I have to remain in touch with the students who I teach, all right, and not just talk about media like some kind of abstract concept, right? It's something I have to do very regularly, and I like to share the examples that I use, all right? So I came up with the idea to just do some quick TikToks, some quick TikTok tips, all right, for other lecturers, for other media lecturers, all right, giving them examples of news, all right, of companies, of trending discussions in contemporary media that will help them teach mass communication and media studies more effectively in the classroom. Right. So I made my first TikTok. I've been blogging and creating YouTube videos for a while now, but I made my first TikTok to share. All right, and you all are the first people who are gonna be able to see it. All right. Hope you like it. Yeah.
All right.
And as I expected, it's not, for some reason it's not showing when the screen is up. So I'm gonna have to stop sharing this. It's not sharing on the actual PowerPoint. So it's gonna pull up the video itself. Give me 1 second. Well, it's not Friday the 13th for nothing. So let's go on to Yole. I'm gonna pull that up. All right, but let me hear from Yole first. And let's start with Williamsville first. Let me hear from the rep that you all chose. All right, and let me hear about the idea that you all chose for the kind of content that your school will be creating. Who's the rep and what's the content that you'll all be sharing? We're talking about Williamsville Secondary School first. Malia, you're quiet? What's going on?
Well, sir, I didn't fill it out. My Amira did fill it out, so she will have to talk.
All right. Let's hear from the rep from Williamsville about the
Okay.
idea you all came up with.
The idea that we came up with was basically creating dance videos for religious purposes.
Dance videos for religious purposes. How do you come up with that idea?
Because with school, we have a big dance let's say reputation, like we big in dance, and I feel like that's a good way to like incorporate religious education, because like we on Thursdays we just have a religious day. Basically is take one period of the day where people just come and talk to us and sing, right? Pray and whatever. And basically one of my colleagues, which is Adriana, brought up the topic and was like, we could use TikTok and Instagram as a platform where we could make dance videos pertaining to a specific religion and post it so people can be educated about like the dances and the religious culture at the same time.
All right. Okay. And what platforms did you say did you all decide to use?
TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All right. Okay. Well, good. So you're basically capitalizing on something that you already have experience in, that you're already good at. All right. And you'll have some kind of interest in. All right. And it's not just dance, but dance that's specific to spiritual practices and faith and whatnot. All right. So that is one way, all right, of putting yourself out there and putting your school out there. Okay, great. Let's talk to, thank you very much. Let's talk to a smaller group now. How about the Holy Faith Convent squad? What did you all come up with?
We came up with an idea of it's motivate children and give them an insider view on. So convent has a reputation of scholarships, we got a president medal, having good passes and stuff like that. So we said we will give them an insider view on the struggle to reach to the top. So we'll say that it's not always easy to just pop out and be like, okay, I got all one, so I got a president medal, I got a scholarship. There's always a struggle to start with, and you keep having to build on it. So it's more of a motivation thing. And it would also, in that content, we will add and create, like show what the school does to help the students move along on their journey.
Right,
Tomorrow Williams would like to add something to it.
Well, once you're finished, sure.
Tomorrow you could go ahead.
Hi, sir. So basically, to add to what Tanisha said, we have this new club. We are actually coming up with this thing called Media Club, and it would be a newspaper that we would be advertising on Instagram. So to add to what she was saying about talking about the president medalist, we would have like, let's say, an idea of what she talked about. So she would have said that she wasn't, let's say, the most gifted student, but the school has its reputation to just it's mostly just how to say talented students. You know, people just, okay, I got a scholarship, as Nisha was saying again. We're popping up with that, but we would be telling people what really goes on inside school, the struggles, basically, you know, coping with a lot of different things that everyone can do it. So I say it's a whole motivational idea, basically what she was saying.
Is it motivational or is it therapeutic? Because it sounds like
I
it's
guess
both.
therapeutic. There's a lot of things that they could be competing, therapeutic, motivational, and a lot of ways to describe it.
Okay, because I'm getting a realness coming from what you're describing, that is not only about becoming a top achiever, but also dealing with the expectation of being a top achiever. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dealing with the pressure. Then.
Yes, sir. Basically.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely that's definitely something that a lot of students, you know, can relate to, right? Dealing with pressure to achieve and to achieve in a huge way. all right, and being able to hear how other students not just deal with that, all right, but thrive perhaps on that pressure, all right. Use it to motivate them and not just intimidate them or bring them down. That is actually a really good idea that I could find a lot of support, all right, from other students. That's good, very good. Holy Faith. All right. I am actually losing track of who I would have spoken to so far. I know I spoke to Williamsville. I know I spoke to Holy Faith. Did I speak to No, I did not speak to Marabella. Marabella, let me hear from you.
Hi, my name is Camilla Jeffers, and I will be representing Marabella North Secondary. The kind of content we will create for school be showcasing the talent of the students and the different cultures that we have in our school. Like the rate of talent, including the TASA players, break dancers, T-PAN players, and comedians we have in our school. And also the culture program with the African History Month program, we have yearly, and the Diwali program, we have in our school every year. And the platform we will use was TikTok, because TikTok is a very famous app or a social media app that is famous in this generation. So I think you use that to showcase the skill of the students, because there are a lot of talented students at the school and they don't really get to showcase the skill as much.
All right. Okay, good. So you want to showcase the school. I'm going to direct a question towards your teacher, Ms. Ramsumir. Ms. Ramsumir,
Yes, sir.
how old is Marabella North Secondary? The school.
Marabella is over, I think they celebrated nearly 60 years. It's an old school, very old.
It's an
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah, I
Right.
myself am a past student from that school.
Oh, you're a past student. Okay, all right. Like what you spoke about the highlighting what the school does, what the student body is engaged in terms of activities and whatnot. What are y'all great at or known for?
We are known for our TASA mostly, right? We enter Sandfest competitions and we usually come out on the top 3. So that's one thing we'd like to highlight on the TikTok, that we would create break dancing as well. They also take place participate in the Sandfest competitions.
Wait. Did you say break dancing? I didn't.
Yes, I believe there was a year that our break dancers took part.
Okay, recently?
A couple years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Check it out. It should be on the Facebook page. I'll have to look for it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, because right now we do have an active Facebook page highlighting some of the things that we do at the school. However, I feel like the TikTok would be more engaging.
All right. Okay. Because you all have under your form, you all have TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So
yeah,
so I guess you want to focus on TikTok. All right. Okay. Great. It sounds like you all want to focus specifically on the performing arts aspect of the school, of the student body. All right. I mean, I really want to go and watch the break dancing now. Right?
Yeah, sure, I can send you a link.
All right, but the TASA specifically.
Yes.
The TASA specifically feels like something that you all should really focus on. All right, because a good YouTube channel, all right, about not just TASA playing, all right, but about the creation and maintenance of the instruments, the history of the instruments, etc. All right, it's tough to find something like that. There's material online, right? But specifically, a social channel about TASA, right?
Yes.
Is something that can fit like all the different aspects, all the different factors of compelling content that we spoke about, right? It isn't being done much, and it definitely isn't being done well on social media. You all have access to it because you all are, well known and skilled in it.
Yes.
All
And
right.
our coach is Mr. Lenny Kumar, I believe is his name. So he has a lot of the history. He's knowledgeable about it. So we can speak with him and get that history.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's gonna be a social platform, it's not gonna be a project, it's not gonna be a one and done thing. I mean, history is happening every day. It's evolving. So I mean, he would be a good place to start. and then you'll go around your actual, community. All right. But if you start in your community and then you spread outwards and talk to other TASA legends and TASA and up and coming, TASA stars and whatnot. All right.
Yes.
That would be that would be an interesting focal point. All right, for the school specifically. Just have a focus on TASA. All right. And it will highlight your school's own again specialty. All right. It might end up actually, drawing people towards your school who want to learn TASA more.
Yes,
Right?
definitely.
Not just students, right? And not just students. So it's a great way to highlight something you're great at to the wider community, right?
Yes.
To benefit the specific oh gosh, to benefit the instrument and the art form, all right, and its players and its fans. Great.
Yes.
All right, very interesting.
Thank you.
All right. So that would have been 3. So you'll help me out. Who's left? I'm losing track because I'm only seeing the initials and not the names of the schools. So I'm thinking
St. Joseph's Convent.
St. Joseph's Convent. St. Joseph's Convent. St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando. Talk to me.
Okay, so recently on Wednesday we celebrated International Girls' Day. So we decided to create a group based on the empowerment of women and young girls. It'll be a club that we target to set activities such as skits on women empowerment, spoken word pieces based on that as well, and debates on women's rights too. And we decided to promote our group on all social media platforms except Twitch too, because that is a streaming platform as well.
So why accept Twitch? Why accept Twitch?
Because it's a streaming platform, but then again, I think we could use it for we could use Twitch to promote the club to other girls as well in school too.
Yeah. I mean, you catch your audience where wherever they are. All right. I mean, there's no reason why you can't. I mean, I know Twitch is not exclusive to games anymore, but there's no reason why you can't use, games and the students, all right, of St. Joseph's who play games, right? There's no reason why I can't use them, all right, to further the goal, all right, of the group, all right, and your social platforms in general, all right. Good, all right, very good. Sounds like a good idea. Definitely sounds like something that is in line with the culture of your school. So now I am left to decide which of these ideas I like the best. And there's a toss-up between.
Excuse me, also, Alexi would like to say something else pertaining to.
Sure.
Okay, it's Alexi again. So, tying back in what Zahara said, as we had our International Day of the Girls celebration Wednesday, and seeing that we're an all-girls school, and the many things that are going on within our school, such as the competitions and stuff in different areas, such as sports and performance, and we want to be able to use that to show that we as women can do other sorts of stuff as well. So what we're thinking was using our performance aspect of our talents at St. Joseph's Convent to promote to give a fresh perspective on gender equality by using skits, monologues, debates, and spoken word, and to also educate everyone, not just women, but men as well, in the challenges that women may be facing and how they as men are able to better help women, and we as a whole world population can work together to, better the world. Yeah.
Good, Alexi. All right, I think I have my decision then. I think from what because I am going through the forms that you all sent and I'm listening to what you all said. All right, I'm gonna give 2 awards then. I think that the most fully formed idea, right, the one that I can see, coming to fruition and in a big effective way, is the one from St. Joseph's Convent. All right, definitely. All right. You all are talking about something that is directly applicable and relevant to you all as a girls' school. All right. You all are providing, content along the lines of a always current topic, the empowerment of women. All right. So it definitely would be beneficial. You definitely would find an audience for it. And it would be beneficial not just for the people who consume it, but for you all as the people who produce it, which is always very important. Right? People tend to overlook how the production of said content can help you as the creator. All right. Can help you develop as not just as a creator and as an artist, as a professional, but as a person. All right. So in that regard, definitely the most fully formed idea. Now, the idea that I find most interesting, not because I don't think the women's empowerment is interesting, all right, but because there's already so much, content out there, so many groups, so many organizations and whatnot, all right, focused on the empowerment of women. So you're entering a very crowded field already, right? Worthy cause, but crowded field, right? I really like the idea of Marabella putting a spotlight on TASA, right? As an instrument, as an art form. I really like that idea, right? There are other cultural, there are other performing arts aspects as well, but specifically TASA, all right? I really like that idea. I find that to be the most interesting, all right? So I didn't use the word best, so no one can feel any kind of how, all right? I'm really glad that you all share your ideas with me. I'm gonna be going back through them again after we break off for today. But before we do, all right, I want to quickly share that video that I put together, that this first TikTok, all right, that I put together in preparation for this class. Right, as I said, I was looking to share with other media educators, right, how exactly we can connect with our classes, how we can illustrate our points and teach concepts using current examples. So I want to share those tips via videos like this one. All right, 2 quick hits. First, Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite, recently laid off over 800 of its workers. And Roblox, the popular online game platform, is finally coming to PlayStation. These games are massive cultural forces among the 7s to 17s. They both tap into that same drive to build and create that made Minecraft an institution. Use this news to discuss labor issues and worker exploitation in media industries. It's also a great way to illustrate media commodification, as both games heavily monetize their players' creativity. Class dismissed until next time. All right. So I want to put out a couple of those I want to probably put out like 2 of those every week. All right. It's not exactly, I'm not trying to build a media empire. All right. But as somebody who will be creating stuff like that, it helps me stay on top of my game. All right. In the classroom. And it might help my colleagues to do their jobs more effectively. All right. I'm glad that you all joined us here today to think about, idea generation for content creation. I'm glad that you all did that exercise where you ask yourselves, right, what about yourself, or what about, what you have access to, or skills that you possess as a person, or your perspective on the world, what can contribute to compelling, all right, interesting social media content, right? Our hope is that moving forward, you can apply those questions, ask yourself those questions, apply that idea generation approach, all right? So whatever it is you want to put out there on social media moving forward, all right? We hope that you all enjoyed we hope that you all enjoy, all right, what we did today, all right? Yeah, yep. Thank you very much for joining us, and we appreciate